We're in 1 minute. 1 minute into NXT TakeOver, and I'm already like, what the fuck? They've brought back Sin Cara's springboard, and Kalisto does this crazy grabbing the second rope, putting his head through the middle, and then like somersaulting over the top rope, and Sin Cara does this nice dive over. This is... oh my god. They finally figured out how to use Sin Cara. This is a fantastic use for him. And, hello, this is the Black White Soul, and this is my review of NXT TakeOver. I've not been this excited for quite a while. Let's see if NXT can deliver. And if I'm already talking about this in the 1 minute mark, it's a good sign. Good sign. And there we have it, our opening match, Sin Cara and Kalisto versus the Ascension. Really, really good match. I did wonder how sort of two smaller high flyers are going to mix with these two big guys, but they made them look amazing. Both teams got in big moves, and they made Kalisto look like he can take on anyone. They made him look so strong, which is what they rarely do with smaller guys. But with his high flying, he managed to counter their moves. Oh, so many just crazy flipping counters and dives out the ring. The Ascension actually didn't get all that much offense in there, just got their brutal hits when they hit. And yeah, it comes down to the fallen man is about to hit. Sin Cara grabs, I don't know, the big guy's leg, kicks him in the head, knocks him out the ring. As he's getting on the apron, Victor knocks him out. El Local tries rolling him up, gets knocked off, ducks a clothesline and hits his Casta del Sol, which is basically get them in a stunner position. Then he flips over into a reverse DDT. I love the move, he lands it so perfectly, he must hurt himself because you're landing straight on your ass from that height. And gets the pin, and we have new NXT Tag Team Champions. Yeah, no shame in losing. And I think, yeah, the Ascension have just been bumming around now for like months. It's time for them to go up to the main roster, so this is a good sign that they're going to do that. And this gives Sin Cara and El Kalisto time to mix together. They've finally found a use for Sin Cara. This is definitely what he should be doing. And then hopefully it won't be that long until they're on the main roster, so he can build up this tag team division on Raw and SmackDown. Good start, well done, good start, a title change, very exciting match. Well done NXT. And next we have Enzo Amore versus Sylvester Grande. Yeah, Legionnaires come out and they've got this new theme song where it has like a warning that appears and it's Attention! Attention! Really like their new music. And they're just smug French people. It's always good seeing them get beaten up. And then Enzo and Kaz come out and I don't remember their music having so many words, but I don't think their entrance has ever gone that long without miking it up. Yeah, so it looks like basically all the cliches and stuff he says they've put into their theme song. Good. Really good. And NXT crowd, you're fantastic. You are such an amazing crowd. You're into everything. You know your part in this, and you make this show just so much better. Literally into everything Enzo's saying. He does the usual stick, because he's a certified G, and you can't teach that. Big Kaz is 7 foot tall, and you can't teach that. Bada bing, bada boom! Big room. And just Enzo's just random fits he has before he starts wrestling. He's got a really good character. The in-ring portion of this whole segment was not the best. They're standard wrestlers at best, but they've got time. But Enzo's gimmick is there. He has it. Him and Kaz. Kaz, good worker. Enzo, good worker. Just not to the level of a lot of the others. But yeah, their gimmick is just phenomenal. Basic back and forth match. Enzo, a little bit of distraction from the outside, but Big Kaz soon deals with that. And Enzo gets the roll-up victory. And then as they're bringing Sylvain closer to the bucket. His partner knocks everyone down on the ramp and is picking him up. It's like, "You alright?" And that's when Sylvester looks behind them as Big Kaz and Enzo are up, shoves him backwards and runs away, leaving him alone with Big Kaz and Enzo, who beat him up and on the ramp deliver a brutal, like, Irish whip into a big boot, taking his head off. And then the bucket of hair remover stuff gets chucked over, what's his name, Louis. Chucked over Louis and he crawls away. Happy, it's the reaction the crowd wanted to see, and this storyline's then going to continue in NXT of them probably trying to hunt down Sylvain and get rid of that hair. I enjoyed it. It was a little stopgap match. A little bit more of a comedy match, less in-ring thing, but I think we're going to see a lot of in-ring tonight. So it was a nice little break. Okay, next is an interesting segment. William Regal comes out, crowd love it, he's a legend. And just he just has the perfect voice for, like, introducing someone and making it sound grand and have, like, gravitas to it. And they talk about their signing of Kenta, international superstar, and he comes down. A bit of a weird structure to his promo. Starts off, his English is not fantastic, he can sort of get through sentences, but there is some, like, stumbling, and it's a very strong accent. Then he starts doing a chunk of it in just full-on Japanese, which is a bit confusing for, like, the NXT crowd. It does get them a bit riled up, but then he, like, goes back to, okay, let's not do an Asian accent. I just thought better of that for a second there. Yeah, but it's like, I love NXT, it's a dream! And then he also announces that he's changing his name, which is smart. WWE wants someone to have their name when they come in, not keep theirs. But it was good for getting Japanese interest in, having a big Japanese star, Kenta, come over and keep that name until he's there. And then apparently he's changed it because it's, I think he said something along the lines, it was like a mentor or like a friend. So he changed his name. I can't quite pronounce that name yet. I'll get onto it. Which is weird. They should have done so much better with, like, Kenta, or at least made it Kenta something. Because Kenta is just an easy name to do, an easy name to chant, as the NXT crowd are chanting it. And they're very excited to see him. And he's got amazing music. It's like this, starts off Japanese, and then it goes dark and evil, then guitar-y. It's really nice. But then the Ascension come out. They attack Kenta, chuck him out the ring. And then they're shouting at William Regal, and in this time Kenta gets back in the ring, slowly takes off his jacket, and basically takes it to the Ascension, hits a nice Yakuza kick to Victor, while then wailing away on the other, I can never remember his name, wailing away and, like, knock him out the ring. They both get on the apron, double drop kick, and then Kenta rolls out, gets a chair, it's like, come on! Opens up the chair, sits on the chair, and is like, come on. I liked it. It showed some character. It's good. As long as they don't, like, just give him the generic Japanese thing, but yeah. Though there are going to be some issues here. Because I looked up a couple of his matches. I actually watched a match of him versus Seth Rollins in ROH. A really good match. Kenta wins. But he uses the GTS. He uses the Yes Lock. He uses the running knee. He basically uses a lot of the top guys' sort of moves. So he's going to have to restructure his, like, finishers a bit. But I can't wait to see him in full-on action. And hopefully that'll be soon. Thank God that was short. Bull Dempsey versus Mojo Rawley. Mojo Rawley is basically NXT's Eva Marie. But yeah, this is an okay use of him. They just really physical, Bull and Mojo just going at each other, like battering. This probably has other connotations to that. Like battering rams, just really laying in their shit. And that means Mojo's bleeding from the eye. Bull Dempsey shows off his new finisher of a fairly awkward diving headbutt. which is like, well, maybe you shouldn't be doing that if you don't look quite as graceful up there. I don't expect you to look like Adrian and Neville on the top rope, but still, don't look like you're about to just fall off. But Bull wins with a diving headbutt, and that's that. Yeah, you couldn't have wins across the board, could you, NXT? I had to get Mojo on there. At least last time it was just him getting crushed by Rusev. So maybe that's just going to be a thing. Every time Mojo just gets beaten up on an NXT takeover. Enzo and Big Kaz are walking around backstage, and Enzo's not happy. He wanted to see someone bald tonight. And then as they come around the corner, they see Sylvain and Louis has got a towel over his head. And they charge over. Sylvain runs like the French do. I'm British, damn it, I've got to insult the French, it's the law. And then they hit Louis and then pick him up and take him to the ring. Big Kaz hits an atomic drop of all things. And then Enzo's winding up for the big punch and just yanks the towel off his head, and he's got like patches of hair, his eyebrows are gone. Oh, poor Louis. And he runs off. Yeah, it's fun. I like a little ongoing segment for the show, and it's a bit of comedy. These guys do it well. They're over with the crowd. Comedy, funny, let this happen. I like comedy. It is Women's Championship time. Charlotte Flair, woo! Versus Bayley. I love this girl. Wow, that was quite creepy. But yeah, Charlotte Flair, our champion. She's a Flair. And it shows, and apparently she's really not been doing this long, and she is so good for how long she has been. And Bayley is just, she's got a gimmick that works, and she is a good in-ring person, and she is hot. Bayley is much hotter than Charlotte Flair. Come on, you've got to agree with me. If not, leave comments, say which one's hotter, Charlotte Flair or Bayley. Regardless, really good match. As I've pretty much said, we're back and forth, and there's just getting off some moves. Of course, I love the fact that Charlotte Flair has the figure 4 headlock. Makes sense. Harking back to the old man. Charlotte doesn't hit a fantastic moonsault. It looks beautiful, but she kind of gets her knees up a bit too much at the end. But just a phenomenal moment at the end of the match where she hits that, Bayley kicks out, and they're both getting to their feet, and Bayley's facial expression of just not giving up. They told a good story. It's rare that we get a really good story just told in the match without, like, commentary. I'm not talking about, oh, you slept with my boyfriend and storylines. The match was all about Bayley just being so tenacious and deserving it, Charlotte underestimating her, and this came across in the wrestling itself. That's when you tell a good story, is when you get the story from the actual match. Really good. The girls pulling out the tops, all the stops, top rope, hurricanranas, the same moonsaults, good chain wrestling. My voice is going a bit. Yeah, good chain wrestling, so good. And a nice story told. Charlotte Flair hitting the, well, was bow down to the Queen, but apparently is now natural selection. The opponents on their knees, RKO, flipping over them for the win. So she retains her title, and then she's celebrating, leaves. Sasha Banks, who Bayley kicked out of the tournament to get into the #1 contendership, comes down, starts wailing on Bayley. Charlotte, again, quite good acting, emotions, visuals. She's like looking at the Titatron because she's looking up the ramp and looking back. And she can't stand it. She has to go in. She chucks Sasha Banks off Bayley. And like, she isn't then like helping up, oh Bayley, you're alright. It's not like a full heel turn, a face turn. But it is like, okay, I'll give you this. You earned some respect tonight. But it's telling that story without words. And this is a lost art. And this is the women's match of the show. Raw has just destroyed women's wrestling lately. Because the only thing you get are the fucking Total Divas, you know the ones I'm talking about. You've got the Paige and AJ thing, which I like, but they only get like 2 minutes out there to wrestle. And they get really good pay-per-view matches when they're allowed to, but then all the other time is just them back and forth and having like 2-minute matches with someone else and them doing a skipping distraction finish. I won't lie, if I was a woman wrestler, NXT is where I want to be, because you're allowed to go out there and do matches, you're allowed to wrestle, you're not just on Total Divas. It's the place to be for men. I am physically exhausted watching that match. Just... If you have the slightest interest in wrestling, watch this goddamn match. It has high flying, it has good moves, it has psychology, it has 4 guys that are just phenomenal workers, good timing. Oh my god! Oh, they had so many amazing just mixed spots. 1 or 2 did go wrong, but then they carried on. You can never get 100% accurate in these things, and a mark of a good wrestler is covering up your fuck-ups. You are gonna mess up, but you need to carry on. So good. I cannot gush about this match enough. There's just too many amazing spots to even tell. Oh, good lord. Just try and watch this match. If you're in the UK, it was on Sky Sports, so hopefully be a replay. This alone is worth goddamn $9.99. I'm gonna happily give the WWE my money when they come over here, just so I can have the network and watch NXT whenever I want. Oh lord. But it's not just the fact it was a spot fest, it was amazing. There was the story. This Sami Zayn story has been going on since he came in. He always gets so close to the title, just so near it. He had the amazing run with Bo Dallas, but he just couldn't. Bo Dallas kept just sneaking that win. And he did it. He pinned someone in the title match for the title. But Adrian Neville yanked the referee, almost knocking my light over, referee out of the ring. So he had the free count. He was there. He had it. It's an amazing story from him. Tyson Kidd, such good psychology in this match from a wrestling point of view and just from a general fight point of view. He kept Adrian Neville out of that ring for like the first 15 minutes of this match. He kept corner it off, kept his control. It wasn't until like the end where it just all went crazy that he lost his control. Such a good game plan, strategy. Oh, Tyler Breeze, probably the one that comes out the less amazing out of this match. Had a few good spots, but no sort of like truly memorable. He had this one moment where he just took all 3 guys out, hit the beauty spot, hit a super kick, hit a drop kick, just took them all out. But yeah, if this is the future of the WWE, the future is bright. And frankly, WWE, look at what you're doing on Raw, look at what you're doing in NXT. Pick up your game. I am much more interested in watching NXT than I am Raw at the moment. You need to do something and just let guys go at it. This was phenomenal. Phenomenal cosmic powers. Oh, I think I need to go for a nap after this. Oh, crowd is so good, so into it, so many clever chants. There was even a CM Punk chant at one point. And when that started, the crowd, whoever, like, what group was starting that, shut it up. They just boo and just cut that chant off. Because this match needed to be focused on. Oh, I'm just blown away. If these guys can make it onto the top roster and they let them go for it, we've got a bright future ahead of us. Oh. until next time, like, subscribe, and TTFN.